The story begins in a calm and gentle place where the protagonist lives a peaceful life. The atmosphere is warm and familiar. A young girl runs in with visible excitement, reporting that the weeds planted earlier have begun to grow. She eagerly looks forward to making bread once they are harvested. Kaidono listens and feels a quiet sense of anticipation rise within him. Around him, people gather naturally, greeting him with familiar voices from every direction. One woman notices that he has arrived late and gently invites him forward, offering him the best seat and welcoming him as their king. Nearby, several girls stand, holding buckets filled with freshly caught fish. One of them steps closer, calling him Master, and offers him a dish she prepared using the knowledge he once taught her. She waits nervously, watching his reaction. When Kai tastes the food, genuine surprise fills him at how delicious it is. Relief and happiness immediately spread across the girl's face. Another girl adds that such meals are possible because of the castle that now exists. Kai reflects quietly and feels that calling it a great castle is an exaggeration, as this land was completely unexplored just 3 months ago. His thoughts drift to his previous life, one ruled entirely by illness. His body had remained weak, and he died before reaching the age of 20. He had almost no friends except within a gardening game where he created the world he dreamed of living in. His sickness caused his parents endless worry, and that regret still lingers in his heart. Even so, he feels grateful that he was able to see their faces before his death. No one was at fault, yet that life ended with many unfulfilled wishes. One desire remained stronger than all others, the wish for a second life. The scene shifts abruptly. Kai now exists as a small toddler in an unfamiliar place. Confusion overwhelms him at once. This is not a hospital. Fear follows as he struggles to understand where he is. He notices another baby nearby, and the truth slowly becomes clear. He has been reborn as a child. Panic rises when he hears voices that are not Japanese. A man soon discovers the two babies, gathers them gently into his arms, and carries them home. At that moment, realization settles fully. Rebirth is real, and a new life has begun in another world. With calm resolve, Kai sets his first goal, to learn everything about this world, step by step, from the very beginning. Time passes, and the scene shifts again. 2 years later, Kai grows older. The man who found the babies adopts them and raises them as his own children, giving them names. The boy is named Kai, and the girl is named Rukia. As Kai grows, he carefully observes the world and gradually understands its truths. Magic exists here, and gods may exist as well. This place is unmistakably another world. One day, Rukia runs in playfully and threatens to tell their father about something, repeating the threat with a mischievous smile. Kai begs her to stop, and Rukia laughs, clearly enjoying the moment. The atmosphere remains warm and lighthearted. As time goes on, Kai continues learning about the world. A god named Farley exists here, and their father serves as a priest. Farley created the world, and 13 other gods exist alongside him. Those who receive a blessing from a god gain a holy seal on the left side of their chest. By invoking the god's name, they can use special abilities. These individuals are known as the Blessed. Unlike magic, which focuses on destruction, holy abilities differ from person to person. The holy seal only appears when someone comes of age. Many gods' names remain secret, and even the blessed do not learn their god's identity until a formal ceremony at the temple at the age of 12. However, a forbidden book exists that only high priests may read, containing hidden god names not revealed by the temple. One day, Kai and Rukia bathe together. Kai sighs and admits inwardly that he wishes he could at least use magic. He remembers how long he cried after learning that he could not. To him, the world feels cruel. Rukia teases him, accusing him of teasing her in return. Kai apologizes, and the moment dissolves into playful splashing and laughter. Then something unexpected happens. Rukia suddenly freezes and points at Kai's chest. A glowing mark appears there. Kai stares in shock as the holy seal forms. Their father rushes in and freezes as well, unable to hide his disbelief. The seal is real. Rukia reacts proudly, confident that it would happen. Kai struggles to understand what is unfolding. Their father, overwhelmed with emotion, gives thanks to the gods and praises both children, calling them miracles and expressing his pride. He then leads Kai into the study. Inside, sacred names are spoken. Kai listens and tries to respond, but nothing happens. Even at the age of 10, no matter how many times he repeats the names, there is no reaction. Kai reflects quietly. He knows the forbidden book listed 10 gods. He wonders whether his god belongs to the remaining three or if the truth must wait until the temple ceremony. Curiosity grows stronger. When he tries to enter the study again later, the door is locked. Days pass, and Kai trains every day, anxiety slowly building within him. Rukia notices him training again and approaches him in her usual way. Kai admits that his restlessness remains. He recalls the notes left by the old guru and realizes that one method remains untested. An idea forms. He wonders whether Rukia wants to know which god blessed her. Though she hesitates, curiosity wins. They decide to test only the god names they already know. The first produces no result. The second also fails. When Kai tries another name, Rukia suddenly pauses. Surprise fills her expression as she realizes she hears a voice. Kai senses a change as well. He understands that this god is Idea, the god of truth, and that the old notes were unnecessary. Kai wonders whether Rukia can now use her ability and whether she can see the name of his god. She focuses on him, then reacts in shock as the truth becomes clear. She identifies the god who blessed Kai as Alamira. Kai freezes. That name does not appear in the forbidden notes. Rukia reacts with pride at her success and Kai responds with warmth, praising her. The moment settles peacefully, yet doubt follows. Rukia wonders how much Kai truly understands about the power of Idea. Kai feels tension rise. Memories of his previous life resurface. He knows the truth about his origin must never be revealed. He realizes he cannot lie and quietly considers how powerful Rukia's ability truly is. Hope fills Kai's heart. He believes this discovery brings him closer to becoming truly blessed. He imagines a future where he and Rukia become priests and repay their father's kindness. He promises himself to become the good son he could not be in his previous life. With firm resolve, he focuses on the ability granted by Alamira. A name forms clearly in his mind, Tennohhira village, meaning a world in his palm. He understands that this power far surpasses mere fantasy. Kai suddenly finds himself standing in a vast, open land. A wooden sign appears before him, written in Japanese, welcoming him to Tennohhira village. The message explains that the land is his to shape freely. His current level is 0. The village has no name. The land is nothing but wasteland. The next objective is the first harvest. Kai recognizes the language and feels surprise turn into understanding. This place resembles the small garden worlds he once dreamed of. Excitement fills his chest as he realizes that the village will grow stronger once conditions are met. A quiet smile forms as he raises his arms and steels his resolve. He decides to begin here, cultivating the land with his own hands, ready to build everything from nothing. Kai walks through the village carrying goods. An elderly woman notices him and wonders if he is out shopping. Kai acknowledges that he is a little. He continues on his way and arrives at Tennohhira village. Kai looks at the system notification that displays the conditions for his level up. It mentions the first harvest, reminding him that harvest is the foundation of everything. He reflects that he has spent most of his savings, but considers it worthwhile because it is an advance investment in Tennohhira village, which he received through the guidance of the good goddess Mira. He believes the village can be developed smoothly if handled properly, although he wants to build it in his own way. He recalls the basic rule of this world. When an ability awakens, a mysterious voice will be heard. As expected from a god's great skill, the system functions perfectly. Suddenly, he remembers the seeds he forgot. When he goes beyond the fence surrounding the village, he returns to the place where the ability was activated. He observes that the field is in good condition, but realizes that farming alone is not enough. Kai turns his attention to the forest outside the village, noticing that it holds many valuable resources. The area is suitable for collecting materials, and there's no shortage of wood for village construction. He considers planting young trees and thinks that grass and flowers would improve the surroundings. He also ponders hard soil and stone, questioning whether stone can be obtained from a quarry as he plans the village's future development. That kind of luck becomes an important factor in forming a farming village, allowing it to grow several times faster than normal. Kai becomes deeply absorbed in collecting materials and customizing the village. His sister conveys that Rukin will also help. Kai expresses that he is safe and that the situation is the same on his side. He realizes that while items can be brought in, humans seem unable to enter. There is also a daily time limit to stay inside the village, and once it is exceeded, he is forcibly expelled. With that understanding, he continues farming. After a few days pass, the trees he planted grow beyond the fence. He wonders if the village is spreading outward, but then considers that the trees may simply be growing abnormally fast. When he checks the fields, he finds them completely ruined. The potatoes and seedlings have failed. He questions what went wrong, suspecting the soil or fertilizer, but then realizes the real problem. There is no rain in this world, and there are no clouds. He begins to think about how to control the weather and decides to try creating rain. He reasons that smoke from a wildfire might cause rainfall, even though he is unsure if it is scientifically correct. Later, his sister inquires how it went. Kai shares that it worked to some extent and that the rain problem is settled. He realizes that by digging ditches, he could also create a river, expanding the village's potential even further. After 1 year of cultivation, the first harvest is achieved. The system announces that the first harvest condition has been fulfilled. The village level has increased to 1, and the village cultivation rank has advanced to reclaimed land. A mysterious voice echoes again as the fence expands even farther. While checking the system, Kai experiences satisfaction with the level up. He then looks ahead and notes that the next goal may be challenging, but sets it aside for now. Eager to enjoy the results of his work, he prepares a potato, grilling it in a leaf. As the aroma rises, he reacts with delight, appreciating the success of his harvest. While Kai is harvesting, a girl suddenly appears in front of him. He offers her a potato and she gratefully accepts it. She expresses that it is delicious and that she has never tasted anything so good. Kai wonders who she is and where she comes from. The girl introduces herself as Enel. She conveys that her origin is Kai himself, since this is a world created by him. Enel reveals that she is his cultivation support and the manager of the village he has created. She shares that she will feel happy whenever he brings various items from the outside world. For now, she especially requests food, expressing that it tastes wonderful. She then gives Kai a reward, clarifying that it is the seed of creation granted for reaching village level 1. Kai questions whether something will truly grow from it. Enel acknowledges that she does not know for sure and clarifies that the seed can only be planted in the outside world. Kai decides to hold on to it for the time being, worrying that his ability might be exposed if something strange appears. After some time passes, villagers begin to appear within the village. Kai feels as if primitive people have migrated into the area. He welcomes them to Tennohhira village but receives no response. Enel clarifies that they cannot see him because Kai exists as the god of this world rather than as a visible human. Kai wonders how the number of people in the village can be increased. Enel suggests making the village easier to live in by improving the necessities of life, especially food. Kai reflects on the outside world and realizes that many resources can be used. Fibers can be turned into rope and clothing, seeds can be eaten, and oil can be extracted. He ponders whether, besides potatoes and beans, he can also bring river shrimp and small fish into the village. From that point on, thanks to Enel's support, cultivation progresses steadily. The village develops rapidly, and the villagers change and grow along with it. Kai feels overwhelmed with satisfaction as the village expands at an astonishing pace. After another year passes, both Kai and Rukia turn 12, and the time for the formal blessing ceremony arrives. Rukia wonders if she looks good. Kai expresses praise, calling her cute. Rukia jokingly shares her worry about strange insects, and Kai responds that Rukin also loves bugs, though that might cause trouble and even make their father cry. Rukia mentions her plan to become an apprentice priest after the ceremony. Kai reassures her that the blessing ability will be fine and that there is nothing to worry about. He believes the power will activate properly once the name is called. Kai jokingly expresses that if something goes wrong, he wishes someone could get angry on his behalf. Rukia agrees, promising she will. When the ritual begins, Kai is instructed to remove the holy cloth that has been hiding the holy seal attached to him for nearly 10 years. As the seal is revealed, even Kai experiences that something is wrong. The priest hesitates, feeling uneasy, and expresses that the ritual should have proceeded smoothly. Suddenly, the Inquisitor priest declares that Kai bears the mark of an evil god, naming Aramila. Chaos erupts as Kai is seized by the priests, bound with rope, and thrown into a cell with his mouth restrained. Kai is left confused and terrified. Even the high priest appears unaware of the true nature of the holy seal. As he is imprisoned, Kai wonders if he is about to be killed, separated from his father and Rukia without even being able to say goodbye. Kai regains consciousness inside a wooden cell. A rough-looking man opens the door and stands over him while Kai lies on the floor, restrained and weak. The scene shifts to a memory where Kai stands between two adults, suggesting a moment from his past before his imprisonment. His face appears exhausted and pained, showing confusion and fear about his situation. The scene changes to the outside where Kai is taken onto a ship. The large sailing vessel moves away from the shore, leaving the land behind. Kai stands alone on the deck, looking back in shock as the ship departs without warning. He cries out, overwhelmed, as the distance between him and the shore grows. The ship disappears from sight, abandoning Kai. He is left standing on a broken wooden pier surrounded by water and dense forest. The mountains rise in the distance, emphasizing how isolated the place is. Kai comes to understand that he has been suddenly cast away, stranded on an unfamiliar land, left alone to face an uncertain fate. He experiences disbelief, seriously questioning what kind of turn this development has taken. Speaking of that, it is his first beach in this world. There are no signs of people living here. He wonders what he should do. He urges himself to think, questioning inwardly whether something might be there. Enel reacts with concern, wondering what happened to Kai. He notices Enel in front of him and remarks that she is very sweaty. Enel, still worried, presses again, wondering what happened to him, then offers him some water. Kai accepts with gratitude, thanking her. Enel observes carefully and acknowledges that the situation has become very problematic. Kai admits honestly that if he had not been blessed, he would have already died. He then adds thoughtfully that he can only stay here for a limited time. He can remain here for only 3 hours a day, and after that he cannot use the ability for 1 full day. He realizes clearly that he cannot hide here forever. Kai then turns to Enel with urgency and wonders if there is anything he can use as a weapon. Enel responds with regret, explaining that there is still no war in this world. She continues, noting that they do not even have the concept of hunting because there are no prey. At best, they only have stones used for harvesting, and aside from that, the only useful item is the iron tool Kai brought in. Kai acknowledges this quietly. Kai then expresses a strong wish to at least understand the situation outside. Enel clarifies calmly that because this is an isolated world, even she does not know what is happening beyond it. She concludes firmly that it will be either victory or death in trying to break free from this situation. Feeling his resolve rise, Kai reacts with determination. Enel responds with confidence, smiling as she reassures him that if it is Kai, everything will be fine. She affirms gently that he is the protection of the great god Aramila, whose divine power was once treated as that of an evil god. Kai freezes in shock as a terrifying beast steps forward, its presence overwhelming the air around him. He reels in disbelief, realizing this island feels less like refuge and more like a haven for monsters. He marvels at the overwhelming power, realizing that people do live here, yet something prevents him from getting close. He ponders uneasily why the temple brought him to this island, suspecting it was meant to kill him in a very roundabout way. His thoughts drift anxiously to Rukia and his father, wondering if they are safe. Setting those fears aside, he steadies himself, knowing that for now he needs to survive. He accepts reluctantly that he may not be able to return to the city and must live on this island. Even so, he holds on to hope, certain that one day he will find a way to escape. The cold overwhelms him completely as his body curls up beneath the massive tree, his resolve starting to crack. Shivering uncontrollably, he clings to determination, realizing that surviving this night will be his first true trial on the island. Enel soothes him gently, urging him to drink the water first. Kai admits urgently that he needs to make a bed or a hut by tonight, realizing that if things stay like this, he will die. He repeats the word hut to himself, trying to focus. Enel responds thoughtfully, noting that because the village's lumber technology is still lacking, there are no nails or proper tools. The only available house materials are wood, hemp rope, and animal hide taken from herd creatures. After extracting the fibers, she clarifies that building a proper house is impossible, but the materials themselves can still be prepared. She adds that being able to take out what was planted in the village truly helps. Kai grasps the idea, deciding to take out wood, peeled logs, small twigs, and leaves, along with linen rope and stone tools. He wonders quietly whether these will be enough to build a simple hut. Enel assures him calmly that he can take the materials out of the village right away. Kai reacts with surprise, realizing it is truly possible. Enel encourages him, letting him know that he only needs to let her know if he needs anything. Kai feels relieved, glad that he raised the village level. He then focuses his thoughts and decides that the first step is to dig the ground and decide the size. As he digs, he notices that compared to the village, the ground here is much harder. Knowing he cannot spend much time, he settles on a simple goal, wanting just one small space where he can sleep for now. He continues working and preparing without stopping. As he works, Kai longs for a hearth or a fireplace to keep himself warm, But as expected, he accepts that it is impossible. For the ceiling, he takes comfort in the large tree above, realizing there is little need to worry about rain. He decides to leave some gaps so light can enter. He then remembers the creature from yesterday and questions quietly why it ran away. Somehow, the shelter is finally finished. He realizes with surprise that the materials naturally give off an insect repellent smell. Well, since it is the material of the village, he accepts it with ease. The bed, made of fallen leaves and wood chips and covered with linen, feels surprisingly different. He wonders quietly what tomorrow will bring and decides that, for now, he does not want to leave this place yet. When morning comes, Enel greets him warmly and checks whether he has had breakfast. Kai acknowledges that the village has grown plentiful, while Enel adds proudly that the cultural level has also risen. She points out that there is water and food available if he comes there, making the difficulty feel like easy mode. Even so, Kai reflects uneasily that if one day he cannot use his ability, he will be stuck, and realizes he needs fields on the island. He expresses thanks to Enel for the food, and decides firmly that today's schedule is set. Enel then offers her support, letting him know that if something new appears on the island, she will help if he brings it to her, and that it will surely help him as well. She adds playfully that if possible, she would be happy with something delicious. Kai responds lightly, agreeing to do just that. In this situation, he feels comforted, realizing that having a friend with a positive attitude truly helps. He admits inwardly that while it is for reducing risk, he honestly just loves fieldwork. Suddenly, he spots oranges and reacts in surprise. He then ponders whether the child he met was brought here or is a native of the island. Lifting his spirits, he cheers softly and expresses gratitude, determined that he will live. He wonders carefully whether the fruit he received is safe to eat. Enel encourages him, reminding him to bring anything he finds to her. As he eats, he reacts with delight, enjoying the taste like delicious soba noodles, which is why he ended up trying it. Enel observes closely, noting that it looks tasty, though she initially felt uneasy, suspecting it might be poisonous. She experiences the flavor herself and describes it as slightly bittersweet and refreshingly cool. Kai reacts seriously, savoring it, and Enel acknowledges that the flavor is deep, wondering if the villagers would enjoy it. Kai questions whether it can be planted with just this. Enel responds with optimism, noting how lucky they are that this world has discovered such a fruit. She explains calmly that because Kai brought it in, the fruit has now become part of Tennohhira village. She adds that the village develops several times faster when Kai is not there, so it should be easy to grow it soon. Kai decides firmly to leave the fruit on this island under Enel's care while he continues farming here. A few days later, he reviews the fields, wondering if they are ready and realizing that all that remains is to plant the potato seeds. He then notices a familiar presence, thinking she has appeared again, like a stray cat from the neighborhood, or perhaps like himself from the other side. A villager expresses gratitude, thanking him for the fruit he leaves every night, sharing that thanks to it they were able to grow it in the village. Enel then raises a new idea, wondering if he wants to introduce weapons. Kai considers aloud whether they should bring tools like hoes and replicate them in the village. Enel hesitates, questioning if that would be difficult, and reminds him that, as she mentioned before, there is no concept of enemies. Kai accepts this, and Enel adds cautiously that while it might be dangerous, throwing the island's monsters into the village could change everything. She acknowledges the risk, noting that the village might collapse and turn into a world of violence. Kai rejects the idea firmly, realizing they need real military strength and that battles cannot be won with poorly prepared weapons. Enel then reminds him gently of something he seems to have forgotten. Kai reacts with surprise, and Enel reveals that it is the seed of creation. Kai remembers at once, and Enel urges him, feeling that now is the time to plant it. She believes strongly it will be useful and hopes it will become the force needed to break their current situation, pleading earnestly for him to try. Kai thinks deeply about his father, realizing he cannot rely on him. His father is also a high priest, and Kai suspects that he may come looking for him once he notices something is wrong, though Kai keeps his expectations low. He plans quietly to prepare a large ship in advance, believing that even if his father acts, it may be ignored. He remembers his parents, and sadness settles heavily in his chest, while another horned girl watches over him quietly from behind. Lying on his bed the next day, he acknowledges weakly that this is bad. He realizes he has completely caught a cold. He reasons that it does not seem like an endemic disease. Since he cannot stay long in the farming village, he accepts that he will have to rely on his own immunity. His body feels weak and heavy, a sensation he recalls disliking even in his previous life. The cold seeps deep into him, and his awareness fades in and out. Seeing his condition, the horned girl moves closer on her own, sensing how cold he is. While he lies there half-conscious, she wraps herself around him gently, hugging him to keep him warm. Warmth slowly reaches him, and through his haze he murmurs faintly that it is warm. When morning arrives, he greets it weakly. She checks on him with relief, glad that he survived. He manages to thank her, admitting that he was burning with fever and barely aware of what he was doing. She wonders softly whether he is afraid of her. He turns the thought over, lingering on the word afraid. She then points out quietly her white hair, ivory horns, and dark skin, questioning whether she looks inhuman, like a devil, and accepts that children of this world might be frightened. He reacts gently, finding her rather cute. She denies being scary, and he agrees without hesitation. Even as she remains close, he admits shyly that her closeness makes him nervous. She reflects inwardly that it may simply be a difference in culture and realizes that he truly is not afraid. He confirms calmly that she is right. Kai listens quietly as she shares her past. She confesses sadly that many children had come to the island before him, but all of them were afraid of her. Some children were attacked by monsters, while others fell sick and weakened. She admits painfully that she could not help anyone, and because of that, the temple abandoned her. That is why she remained alone. She then expresses softly that she was saved by Kai. He brought her to a safe place, gave her fruit, and stayed beside her when she became sick. Because of that, she declares gently that Kai is no longer alone. Kai raises his hand and introduces himself, wondering if she would become his friend from now on. She introduces herself clearly as Abyss Desu. She then greets him politely, calling him her master. Kai responds calmly, correcting her that his name is Kai. She accepts it without hesitation, deciding that Kai is her master. The next day, Abyss greets him warmly, wishing her master good morning as she wraps her arms around him. She checks on him with concern, wondering if he slept well, if it was cold, and whether he feels sick again. Kai assures her calmly that he is fine, then remarks awkwardly that she has a nice futon, quickly realizing what he just said. Abyss reacts with relief, glad to hear he is okay. Kai admits inwardly that he is not entirely sure and feels a quiet worry, wondering if she might face bad people in the future. And that is how he begins his life, living together with Abyss. Abyss reports calmly that she has finished watering that area. Kai expresses appreciation, thanking her. He then reflects that working the fields and reinforcing the hut is much easier when there are more people. Still, the staple food remains potatoes and beans, and he admits that he truly needs more variety. Abyss points with curiosity and wonders what the strange bud is. Kai shares honestly that it is the seed of creation, though he does not know what will grow from it. He hopes quietly that it might become cereal. Something rich would be best, or at least corn. He confesses half-jokingly that he wants to eat meat soon, though the idea of meat growing on trees feels a bit horrifying. Whether that thought reaches it or not, the bud remains small at first, then begins to grow rapidly. Kai calls out to Abyss, feeling uneasy, and questions what they should do. Abyss answers without hesitation, suggesting they harvest it. Kai reacts in disbelief, impressed by her courage. Abyss reminds him that he wanted to eat meat and asks plainly if he can eat this. Kai rejects the idea immediately, insisting he cannot eat that. He then decides cautiously that for now, they should try digging it out, admitting he does not want it if it is only a head. While holding the small toy in his hands, Abyss observes quietly that it is smaller than she expected. Kai acknowledges calmly that for now, it is only about 2 heads tall. He then comes to a realization, recognizing that this is a warrior. Abyss wonders softly whether such a strange fruit can really exist, and Kai reflects aloud that maybe it is fine just to wonder. Suddenly remembering something, Kai urges it to wait and motions for it to sit down. The little toy sits obediently, and Kai senses that it understood instinctively. He thinks deeply, questioning whether this child is part of his ability as a warrior, since it does not look like one at all. Still, he realizes with surprise that it is unexpectedly strong. Kai asks cautiously if it can help reclaim the land a little. He then notes that the hoe from Tennohhira village is made of iron and is heavy. Watching the scene, he concludes that this truly looks like a new workforce. She observes thoughtfully, realizing that this is a new workforce. Kai acknowledges with interest that it does look that way. She then shares her understanding, recognizing it as the creation of a labor force. If it comes from the village, it should be as tough as a human being, making it just right for exploring the land. Kai reacts with sudden insight, realizing he had not thought of that before. The idea of exploration takes shape in his mind. She cautions him calmly that the outside is dangerous, and Kai accepts this clearly, knowing it well. She offers earnestly that if her master needs anything, she will look for it, and if needed, she can even hunt monsters that can be eaten. Kai rejects the idea quickly, feeling that it is too dangerous. She responds logically, pointing out that monsters are exactly why it is dangerous. Kai reflects quietly, feeling happy about her concern, yet recognizes that he still needs to find more resources and cannot rely only on abilities or levels. He observes thoughtfully that she has been living in the forest all this time, and requests sincerely that she teach him every trick she knows to deal with monsters. She responds playfully, calling it a secret. In return, Kai reveals calmly that he also has the ability to evacuate temporarily, and that even the warrior can manage, at least a little. She cautions him gently not to overdo it. Kai accepts this readily, assuring her that he understands. He then admits honestly that since he is a beginner in the jungle, he will follow the instructions of those with more experience. She warns him carefully that some plants are poisonous and that he should not enter dark places. Kai reacts seriously, then wonders aloud whether it would be acceptable to use the warriors as the vanguard. He notices a plant he has never seen before, realizing it looks completely different from anything around the Lepelda kingdom. He comes to understand that this place truly is different. He observes closely that she is not just a wild child. Her hair, clothes, and even her skin shine faintly. He scans the area, noting that he does not see any monsters. She offers her thought, suggesting that they may simply not be aware of her master's presence yet. He warns seriously that they would attack if they noticed her. She acknowledges this calmly, explaining that monsters tend to go after things that look delicious. Kai questions himself lightly, wondering if he really looks delicious. Abyss affirms confidently, leaving no doubt. Kai then decides firmly that it is about time they head back. When Kai decides firmly that it is time to go back, the little toy breaks into tears. Kai turns in confusion, wondering who it really is. At that moment, a huge serpent emerges suddenly from behind, shocking everyone. Kai reacts in surprise, overwhelmed by its unexpected size. Kai brushes it off, remarking that it is just a monster that popped out. Enel checks anxiously if Kai is okay, and he acknowledges quickly that he is fine. Kai then bolts away instinctively, apologizing as he runs and promising inwardly that he will come back. As he moves, he questions himself bitterly about why he ran away alone just now. He calls out desperately to Abyss, begging her to stay safe, while Warrior Corn clings tightly to his leg. Kai vows urgently that he will return immediately, yet realizes uneasily that he does not see any monsters. His worry shifts sharply to Abyss. Suddenly, she appears from nearby, calling out to him. Kai rushes to her, overwhelmed with relief, and checks repeatedly if she is okay. She assures him calmly that she is fine and that the monster is gone. The two embrace tightly. Kai apologizes sincerely, admitting that he ran away alone and acknowledging how scary it must have been. Abyss responds gently, expressing that it is all right and that she is just glad her master is safe, because if he dies, everything would be over. Kai admits honestly that he feels the same about Abyss. He criticizes himself, feeling pathetic for having the ability to escape alone. The village is safe, but only he can enter it and understand what is happening outside. Even though Abyss knows many ways to avoid monsters, he cannot accept putting her in danger. Kai resolves deeply that he must think of another way. That other way, as expected, is a fighting force. In short, the answer lies with the warrior. He determines firmly that the warrior must be strengthened further. With proper weapons, monsters can be fought, but to do that, he must raise the level of the farming village, explore the island, and investigate the monsters. He accepts realistically that it will be a long process. At the very least, even stone tools are still useful. Just then, Abyss cries out urgently, calling him again and urging him to run as a massive monster approaches rapidly from behind. A huge winged monster appears suddenly, making the air feel heavy and dangerous. Hearing Abyss shout, Kai reacts at once, holding the small warrior tightly as he tries to run away. While staring at the huge bird, he wonders if it will return to the sky now that its attack has failed. Then he rejects the thought, sensing that it does not have much intelligence. He considers carefully whether escaping from a flying enemy is even possible. Calling out to Abyss, he urges her to run toward the big tree first. With no other option left, he accepts grimly that they will have to fight. Kai decides quickly that if Abyss escapes, they will also run away, and he asks Warrior Kun to hold on for a while. Abyss accepts calmly, trusting him, while the monster's claws dig into the ground behind them. Kai focuses his mind on Tennohhira village, preparing the next move. The scene then cuts to Enel, who is calmly eating roasted yams with autumn leaves, enjoying herself without worry. Smoke rises as potatoes cook, repeating softly in the air. Suddenly, Kai bursts into view, shouting for Enel to fire, catching her completely off guard. Kai declares, "Monster extermination," then expresses that he will be back soon and offers thanks, receiving a calm acknowledgement of "all right." Earlier, he wonders what the item is being used for and is informed that many of them were prepared. He reacts with approval, describing it as very good, then ponders what it is made from, realizing that it was sharpened from a jab into a stick. Kai throws the burning weapon with all his strength, trying to hit the monster. As the beast reacts, Enel panics, and Kai shouts urgently while running toward Tennohhira village. Kai shouts for Enel and runs hard toward Tennohhira village while the smoke and dust rise behind him. He attacks again with the burning stick, and the small warrior jumps onto the monster, helping slow it down. Remembering that he was helped before, Kai makes up his mind not to run away alone anymore and keeps attacking, swinging his weapon again and again. Even as the giant bird fights back fiercely, Kai stands his ground, pushing forward with all his strength until the monster finally starts to fall back. Kai cheers with relief, praising Warrior Kun and realizing he still has not run away. As the wounded monster roars and rises again, Kai stiffens in shock, sensing the fight is not over yet. Holding Abyss's hand, Kai urges her to leave, then wonders softly what she wants to say as they move away. Abyss confesses with fear that she put him in danger and pleads quietly for him not to hate her. Abyss steps forward bravely and releases a strong power, hitting the monster head-on with a bright blast. The monster is thrown back and collapses, while Kai watches in shock, realizing how powerful she really is. Abyss reveals with emotion that she can use magic born from her own body, inherited through her lineage, and wonders anxiously if this change makes her someone to be feared. Kai responds without hesitation, assuring her that he will never hate her, and expresses firmly that he wants her to stay with him. She reveals calmly that she is not human, explaining that long ago she was created as a battle doll meant to restrain a wizard named Abyss, a being that lives infinitely and feeds only on magic, a replicant known as Abyss. Her body is no different from a human's, but she was made over 1,000 years ago and awakened only 58 years ago, making her far older than Kai, who realizes quietly that she is a remnant of the past, and that her shining hair and skin now make sense. Worried, she wonders anxiously if he is upset because she looks like a demon and is not truly human. Kai reaches out gently, thanking her for trusting him with her secret, and affirms without doubt that he does not find her creepy at all, calling her beautiful instead. Overcome with emotion, she clings to him, feeling saved by his words, while Kai resolves firmly that he will never abandon her, no matter what happens, and would risk his life for her sake. To him, who she is does not matter. Abyss is someone precious, and that is enough. To him, an android girl is not something frightening, but rather something precious, almost like a reward. Still, he wonders quietly what this idea of master truly means. Abyss admits honestly that she cannot live alone, and that she does not know how to live on her own. Because of that, on a whim that day, she decided to choose this man as her master and to live together with him. Kai comes to understand, realizing that because Abyss is a battle doll, she is not capable of living freely as she wishes. She cannot decide her own way of life yet, and that is why she calls him her master. Abyss then acknowledges softly that she did not explain it properly and apologizes for that. Kai accepts calmly, telling her it is fine. Abyss then gathers her courage and asks once more if it is not too late, whether he can truly be her master. Kai reflects deeply, realizing that today his own values saved him. Without his knowledge and understanding, he might have been afraid of Abyss and kept her at a distance. It would not have been possible to understand what a replicant truly is. Abyss may be a replicant, but she is not an emotionless machine. If she learns about the world from now on, she will surely find something she wants to do. With that thought, Kai answers clearly, accepting her request. From that day onward, he decides that Abyss will be with him. Until the day she finds her own path, they will move forward together. Abyss expresses her wish sincerely to stay by his side, asking to live together as master and companion. Hearing himself speak so decisively, Kai reflects wryly that perhaps he is surprisingly good at making such declarations. Kai realizes with relief that this means others can now be brought into the village. Anel explains cheerfully that he can bring people together simply by holding hands and activating the skill. She adds lightly that when Kai leaves the outside world, those brought along will be forced to leave as well. This puts Kai at ease, and he decides happily that he will bring Abyss right away. Kai then notices with concern that the warrior has turned into a seed. Enel reassures him calmly, explaining that there is no need to worry. The warrior only took damage and has entered sleep mode, and it will recover eventually. Hearing this, Kai feels relieved and apologizes softly for overthinking things. Enel suggests brightly that they should call everyone together and have a level 5 celebration. Kai reflects inwardly that this is his chance to explain his abilities to Abyss once again. When Abyss understands that the warrior will recover, she expresses quiet relief, glad that nothing was truly lost. Kai wonders aloud whether the warrior will return to its original form except during battle, then reflects with relief that it would not have been defeated so easily if it had stayed in that form. Feeling thankful, he acknowledges that the warrior is also part of his blessing ability. Abyss reacts with confusion, admitting that in all her knowledge there is no such blessing from a god. Kai ponders this, remarking that perhaps such a blessing did not exist 1,000 years ago. Abyss accepts the thought lightly, then notices that Kai has brought many things from the village. Kai confirms calmly that he can do that now, because his ability has been upgraded. He realizes with excitement that he is now allowed to bring other people as well. Turning to Abyss, he invites her gently to come and see the village together. Abyss wonders softly if she can go with him. Kai answers without hesitation, telling her they should go. As they move, Kai realizes quietly that she has never gone outside the island before. They clasp hands together, sharing the same resolve, and move forward side by side. When they reach Tennohhira village, Kai announces with pride that they have arrived and presents it warmly as their Tennohhira village. He then wonders inwardly if she is surprised and turns to look at Abyss. At that moment, she reacts in shock, suddenly struggling to breathe, and confesses fearfully that her magical powers are being lost. Kai cries out in frustration, shaken by the sight. Enel then intervenes firmly, urging Kai to take her outside, explaining that this world belongs to him alone and is not a place where everyone can live. Kai turns toward Enel, sadness weighing heavily on his face as he admits quietly that she is right and that he thinks so too. Enel tries to comfort him, hoping sincerely that Abyss will be all right. As they rush back, Kai checks on her again with concern, focusing on her condition. Abyss assures him calmly that she is fine, explaining that the only problem is that she cannot move without her magical power. There is almost no magic in that place, and she acknowledges that the sudden loss simply caught her off guard. She clarifies gently that it was not the place itself that shocked her, but Kai. She adds quietly that she cannot move without magic, but since she did not die, she is fine now. Listening to this, Kai ponders deeply, wondering if it is something similar to radio waves interfering with her power. A sense of regret settles in his heart as he reflects that he wanted to show her many things and that it is truly too bad it turned out this way. At last, Kai feels a surge of joy, realizing he finally has a proper meat dish. Even though it is monster meat, Enel assured him confidently that the taste would be good. He eats a lot, the meat seasoned simply with salt made from seawater, and the flavor overwhelms him with perfection. He expresses gratitude for the meal, feeling the rich fat spread through his mouth, thinking how long it has been since he last tasted something like this. Turning slightly, he offers gently to Abyss, asking if she wants some. Abyss declines softly, telling him not to worry about her, and that watching her master eat so happily is enough. Kai feels warmly that, thanks to Abyss being there, the food tastes 100 times better. Before he knows it, 3 months have passed since he came to the island. One day, Abyss checks on him with concern, wondering if he is all right. Kai answers calmly, confirming that this is what she saw on the south side of the island. Abyss affirms thoughtfully, explaining that the island is shaped like a gourd and that the large tree seems to be located on the southern end. She then shares an insight, sensing that there may be better fruit growing around this area. Kai reacts with curiosity, wondering what kind it might be. Abyss reveals it clearly, an emerald green plum, and draws his attention, pointing it out for him to see. He suddenly notices olives, and the idea strikes him at once that he can extract oil from them. He reflects that he did not get much oil from the hemp seeds before, so he decides to plant these as well. Turning his attention forward, he calls on the warrior, setting the plan in motion. In Tennohhira village and across the island, he begins cultivating tangerines and bananas. The bananas turn out less sweet, but they are small and edible. Not only that, they repel water, making them useful as a special material. They can also be used for steaming dishes, which broadens their value. The tangerines, on the other hand, carry a strong balance of sweetness and sourness, tasting exceptionally good. Whenever he eats one, he feels refreshed, leading him to suspect they contain plenty of vitamins. These fruits do not seem native to the island, and he wonders if they are improved breeds created by the civilization that once made Abyss. After checking again, he admits with mild regret that he could not gather enough of them to plant more for now. Abyss points out thoughtfully that whatever he brings into the village will continue to exist there, and that its effects will appear soon. Kai considers carefully that if he brings in a large number of seashells and small fish, he might even be able to create an ocean. Abyss questions this with curiosity, wondering why he would want a sea. Kai explains with quiet resolve that if an ocean is created, the village's civilization will also advance. He admits honestly that when he thinks about escaping one day, he wants to be able to build a boat. Abyss repeats the word slowly, lingering on escape, and wonders uneasily what he plans to do. Kai reveals softly that for now he simply wants to let his family know that he is safe. In his thoughts, he acknowledges realistically that if the temple is watching, it would be impossible. Still, he longs deeply to see them, his sister and his father. Abyss realizes gently that her master still has a family. Kai confirms warmly that his sister and father are his family, and of course, Abyss is going with him too, because she is family as well. Abyss echoes the word with emotion, repeating family, and then embraces Kai tightly. Kai marvels inwardly that a civilization from 1,000 years ago truly feels advanced in ways beyond expectation. Returning, Kai announces quietly that he is home. Abyss notices with surprise that the third seed has also become a dove, and that this one is a warrior as well. Over the past 3 months, the village has grown steadily, reaching level 7, and Kai realizes with amazement that he has obtained 2 seeds of creation. Even so, he reflects soberly that even if the village gains a sea, it will take a long time before they can build a ship capable of crossing the open ocean. Without iron, everything is harder, and he recalls ruefully how freely he spent money back in Lapelda. For now, he accepts firmly that they must first survive the coming winter. While looking at the 3 seed warriors, Kai gently pats them, feeling reassured as he murmurs that things are still fine for now and that he is counting on them. Even so, he acknowledges realistically that he needs stronger main power and decides to talk to Enel. Feeling a bit hopeful, he expresses openly that for some reason, he wants more seeds and wonders if anything can be done about it. Enel reacts lightly, teasing him about the honorific, and Kai responds modestly that it is fine if it is difficult and can be left alone. Enel answers firmly that she is not leaving, but also clarifies calmly that she is only a manager and cannot directly help. Kai then shares his plan to keep leveling up along the way. Enel acknowledges thoughtfully that this is also an option, and reflects that what the village really needs right now is livestock. She suggests animals like cows or horses, pointing out that having a large workforce would be ideal. She adds carefully that at least a pair is necessary, since domestication is difficult with only one. Kai agrees without hesitation. In his thoughts, he dismisses monsters, wishing instead that there were some quiet, wild animals on the island. His attention turns north, and he decides firmly to investigate that area. Kai announces his intention to head to the north side of the island today and checks if that is acceptable. The response comes calmly, agreeing to it. Abyss then adds reassuringly that the area is not too dangerous. Kai confirms with curiosity that this is the case and sets his resolve, declaring that they should begin. The goal is clear in his mind: animals that can become livestock. Abyss reacts with interest, quietly acknowledging the plan. Kai wonders whether they will reach the north side of the island soon. Abyss calmly informs him that they are only halfway there, then checks on his condition to see if he is tired. Kai feels light and energized, enjoying the run and the exploration of the northern region in search of livestock. Abyss shares the same feeling, finding genuine joy in being with her master. As they continue forward, Kai notices that beyond the narrow neck of the island lies unfamiliar land that feels far more peaceful than he expected. Abyss explains that monsters avoid this area because the magical power on the north side is unstable. Kai considers whether relocating their base here might be possible, but Abyss points out that the absence of the Great Tree Barrier would leave him vulnerable, making him an easy target for monsters. Kai accepts that things will not go smoothly. Suddenly, Kai spots movement and realizes they have found a flock. He carefully questions whether they are monsters, but Ibis observes them closely and confirms they are not, noting their lazy behavior. She checks the flow of magical power and considers whether she can use magic in this area. Kai judges that a small amount should be safe, and asks her to use only enough power to stun them. Abyss concentrates and successfully immobilizes the flock. Kai reacts with excitement, recognizing their value, while Abyss briefly questions whether the strength of her magic was appropriate. She then urges them to approach and confirm their find. At that moment, a crow monster moves in to attack. Abyss urges Kai to retreat while she attempts to stun the enemy. Kai insists they fall back together. Her first spell fails and she struggles to adjust her magic, but she pushes forward and launches another focused attack that strikes the crow. Though worried, Kai guides her to endure the strain, explaining that absorbing magic through her breath while holding it in would stabilize her condition. When he signals her to release, she withdraws, believing they have survived the danger. Kai then notices something ahead and realizes the cows are lying on the ground. Relief washes over him as he recognizes they are still alive. Abyss offers to carry them, and Kai counts the group, confirming 1 male and 4 females, an ideal ratio. Enel appears soon after and acknowledges that the quest has been fulfilled, promising a seed as a reward. Kai feels a surge of excitement as he imagines expanded farmland and future production of beef, leather, dairy products, and other resources. He resolves to continue developing the village while also pressing forward with exploration. Time passes. The first spring since Kai arrives on the island gives way to a hot summer filled with abundant harvests, followed by the arrival of a harsh winter. When Kai returns home, Abyss welcomes him with visible relief. She examines the monster fur he wears and Kai feels satisfied, knowing it provides far better insulation than hemp clothing. The fur has been carefully tanned by the villagers of Tennohhira village using oil and plant extracts. Kai also knows how to tan hides himself, though the process is slow and far from luxurious. Even so, the warmth it provides is undeniable. With the assistance of the warriors, a house with a hearth is completed much faster than expected. As Kai anticipated, strong main power makes a clear difference. Despite this, the cold remains severe, especially at night, and becomes dangerous even with proper protection. Kai wonders if he can truly survive the winter on the island. Abyss feels grateful that Kai has returned safely, and Kai shares the same relief in knowing she is alive. Together, they sit beside the 3 warrior corns while villagers go about their daily lives. Outside, the world gradually moves toward spring, and 1 year feels both endlessly long and surprisingly brief. Eventually, Enel acknowledges that Kai has reached level 10. Kai notices a wooden pile and wonders about its purpose. Enel explains that it is a new feature. Until now, the village has extended in all 4 directions, and crossing the fence always returns Kai to the activation point of his ability. By placing this pile in the real world, the north side becomes directly connected, effectively creating a warp point. Kai recognizes the value of this development and feels deeply satisfied. Enel then reveals another reward, a golden seed of creation. Kai decides to plant it in the best field for now. He begins thinking that his next role might be something other than a warrior, perhaps related to air. Abyss reacts with excitement and urges immediate harvesting. Kai is taken aback by her boldness, while Abyss responds with playful confidence, imagining the seed bursting forth dramatically and declaring herself a great wizard of hellfire.
Here I am, know it's been a while.